Reece Walsh isn't going anywhere. Well, not quite. He is going to New Zealand and he will be honouring his current contract. So for the longest time now, there's been a lot of chat around Reece Walsh and his potential early exit from the New Zealand Warriors, specifically him going to the Dolphins, which would mean he'd be reneging on his current contract. So as of about an hour ago, he's come out and shut all those rumours down. It's a really great read. He addresses the so-called intel they had on him wanting to remain in Australia and wanting to stay around his family. That one sounds familiar, doesn't it? So Walsh addresses that, and he has some other interesting things to say about just the rumour mill in general. Here's a few quotes from the young gun.
When I first signed with the Warriors, it was really before COVID hit, so I thought I was going to New Zealand straight away. It's only because of COVID that we stayed in Australia for so long. Going to NZ is always going to be a challenge, and I'm looking at it like that. It's a growth opportunity for sure. At first I sort of laughed about it and would ask the boys, where do you think they get this information from? Because it definitely isn't coming from me or my management or my family. After a while it became too much. There were questions from my teammates. It's got to the point where it's worth addressing because it's spiraling out of control. It's not fair on my teammates or the club that they think I am wanting to go elsewhere. It's not the case. We haven't spoken to any other clubs. I have a contract in place, which means I am 100% going to New Zealand next year.
Some really interesting and insightful words from the youngster and his manager even. He even raises the question that a lot of us ask ourselves when certain stories come out, and that's, where do these quote-unquote sources gather their intel from? The old homesick and being around family is a classic reason that gets brought up, and by the looks of it, Walsh was actually keen for the challenge of moving to New Zealand and all that. It's refreshing to see players come out and nip certain stories in the bud. This one in particular was getting out of hand, as he said, as the bigwigs were having talks about him just straight up reneging on his contract. It's a little disrespectful to Reece Walsh's character in a way, and like I said, I'm glad he actually came out and cleared the air. Not for himself, but out of respect for his teammates and obviously the Warriors fan base that would have been well aware of all the whispers. I mean, it's hard to avoid. Just a bit of clarity and transparency and reassurance. Reece Walsh says he ain't going anywhere until his contract is done. Good news for Warriors fans. Dolphins, not so much. And that's why I'm going to wrap this up, boys. If you enjoyed that and would like to see more Rugby League related content or more content in general, be sure to run and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're new, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.